Hi, my name's Ellie Sample. I'm at the University of Lincoln Open Day, and it's the 317th day of the year. There are only 42 sleeps until Christmas. I can't wait till Christmas. And with me here is Tim. Tim, where are you and what are you doing?
Morning, everyone. Welcome to the open day. Yeah, well, to might not be too surprised, but I am outside. I'm dwarfed by the majesty of Lincoln Cathedral, an absolutely glorious building and a beautiful morning, actually. Yeah, I take it for granted, but it's like a spaceship at the top of the hill, and even more importantly, this is where students graduate, and it's quite a graduation, isn't it, Ellie?
It is, but let's not give away too much right now because Tim is going to be doing a city and campus tour for us at 10 o'clock today. So you've elected not to visit us in person, but to watch our virtual open day, which is fabulous. But I really hope it encourages you to come and meet us at one of our informal open days or to join us at our next open day on the 10th of May, when you can walk around the city yourself. You can discover that where Tim is standing is only about 15 minutes from where I'm sitting in our Isaac Newton building. You can meet our fantastic academics, and we will be meeting one of the very best in about 7 minutes, Professor Andrew Hunter, who is one of the reasons I chose to come to the University of Lincoln to work here, because he is renowned in his area, and he'll be talking to us about some of the amazing research that goes on here at Lincoln. There's an accommodation tour which will be around about 9:45. You'll meet some of our skateboarding society at 10 o'clock. Then we'll join Tim for our city and campus tour, and at 10:30 we will meet Amina, one of our student union sabbaticals, who will be talking to us about what it's like to be a student here. For now, let's say goodbye to Tim, and we're going to say hello to a very special guest who is the magician. The magician comes to all of our open days and he meets our visitors. So if you were here, you would be meeting this man for yourself. Rich, hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
Really good, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
really looking forward to getting around everyone, meeting everyone, and yeah, showing them magic.
You've been saying hi to all of our guests. I've seen everyone just look absolutely amazed when they've met you. I mean, it's what's the reaction been like?
Really good, and I think because obviously people coming here don't expect to meet a magician as they're just sort of chilling out and grabbing a coffee. So it's nice to give people like a bit of a unique experience this morning and something unexpected.
And I think going to university should be a magical experience. It should be something totally different. The thing you definitely find at the University of Lincoln is that you always find the unexpected, and there's always something very different. So, Rich, is there anything you can show us today?
Yeah, we can do
Let me
this
take
actually. So we'll try. I will try and get this at a good angle so people can see. So, Ellie, if I was to, in a full deck of cards, you've got 52 to choose from, but you can boil it down to 3 decisions to get 1 card. So if I asked you red or black, what would you go with, red or black?
Red.
Red, okay. Out of all the red cards, you've got hearts, and actually, I should have given you this before. This is my prediction. So if you just hold that for me there. So out of all the red cards, you've got hearts and you've got diamonds. So do you want hearts or diamonds?
Hearts.
Hearts. Out of all of the hearts, you've got ace to king and all the numbers in between. Which heart would you like?
I'd go 7.
7 of hearts.
Yeah.
Okay. I will give you a chance because some people, you might think I influenced you to pick the 7. So do you want to stick with the 7 or do you want to change your mind?
This never works for me. I'm going to stick with the 7 in the hope that this might work. We won't ruin Rich's career.
Fantastic. So in here, you've been holding on to these while you made all your decisions. In here, 1 card is different to all the rest. I'll try and do this so everyone can see at a good angle. So just in here, if we go through, you should be able to see there's 1. Was it the 7 of hearts that you wanted?
Oh my goodness.
1 card facing up. But I didn't
Wow.
want you to think that I just flipped over the 7 real quickly, because that is kind of possible. So what I thought would do is put your 7 in a blank deck of cards. So it had to be the 7 of hearts.
That is amazing.
Literally couldn't be anything else. So thank you for putting that.
Thank you, Rich. Rich is amazing, and I think, in a way, it's very opposite for today, isn't it, Rich? Because the future is should be amazing, shouldn't it?
Yeah. That is the feeling that you want people to get, I guess, and that's what the feeling that all you guys want people to have when they're looking around the university and thinking about the future and what we're going to do.
It is. If you were going to give any advice to your 17-year-old self, what advice would you give, Rich?
That is really difficult. So I guess the cliche sort of thing is sort of to follow your passion. That's kind of what I've done because obviously I'm passionate about magic and it's now unfortunately my full-time job. But I think if it, not necessarily to these guys, not advice to these guys, but if I was actually specifically speaking to myself, I would say to not think about money too much, because when I was at university, I was thinking about what job I can get that earns me the most money. And now, because I followed my passion, I'm probably earning more money than I ever thought I would do anyway. So it's I'm glad that I sort of forgot about money and went for what I enjoyed.
That is such good advice. What a fantastic man. I'm going to say a huge thank you to Rich for spending a bit of time for us. He's going to go off and welcome some more of our guests. We've got around about 4,000 people joining us on campus today. So there's all sorts going on. There's accommodation tours, there's campus tours, there's city tours, there's talks, there's facility visits, there's workshops, there's crepes and donuts, there's coffee, free coffee, which was my favorite thing this morning. And I'm going to ask everyone who's watching us to say hi, tell us where you are in the world, and we can say hello to you. So hello to Ravi, hello to Mulingwa. Who else is watching and whereabouts are you? And also, what are you thinking about doing with your future? What are you thinking about studying? Now, it's probably a good point to say goodbye to Rich. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your time. And to get ready to welcome our next guest, who everyone will have the opportunity to meet today. And this is Professor Andrew Hunter, who will be giving our welcome this morning. And Andrew, you do the formal welcome to everyone who comes here. So what sort of things do you cover in your welcome? What sort of welcome do you give people?
Well, I've been at the university for 18 years, so I know the place very well, and I try to give people a sense of, what it's like to be here, what the community is like, how we all operate together. I do think it's a fabulous, friendly place. I'd always say that. So it's just trying to give people that sense of, what it will feel like being a student here at Lincoln.
And I feel very honoured to have Professor Hunter with me today. I've worked with Professor Hunter for 11 years, and he is a Deputy Vice-Chancellor here at the University of Lincoln. So it's very nice for him to give up his day for all of our visiting students. And what they can find out about is Professor Hunter's specialism is as a researcher, but he also leads the research of the university. So can you tell us a little bit about that research, Professor Hunter?
Sure. Well, I can touch on some things. We have around about 400 researchers working in every area of the university, every subject we do. So pretty difficult to summarise it all in a few minutes. But I can give you some examples from different areas.
That would be great.
Okay. So Franz, where shall I start? So much to choose from. Maybe the sciences. So we have some wonderful biological scientists do all sorts of fascinating and different things. I'm going to choose Professor Montelegre Zapata. Fernando. Fernando is a sensory biologist, so what he looks at is how insects sense the world, how they understand what's going on. And they're really quite different to human beings. We have a number of people doing things like this, so we understand how bees sense the world, how various other insects do this. One of Fernando's amazing discoveries was in crickets. So he looks at, crickets as little hopping insects, and he discovered that they have the equivalent of their ears in their legs. So they have a special hearing system as a sort of hollow in the leg, and this is how they sense what's going on. Amazing discovery. Nobody knew this.
Nobody else ever knew this before Fernando.
Nobody knew this. He worked this out, and having worked this out, he discovered some really interesting facts about the way that the system works. And then he's looking at how you could build more efficient microphones using the structures that he found in the legs of crickets. And there you go. There's an amazing scientific discovery.
So Fernando's work really is changing the world, but it's a scientific discovery that changes the world of audio media, probably what we're doing today.
Exactly so. And one never knows where these things come from.
Uh-huh.
And the thing that strikes me when I talk to Fernando, he's just such an enthusiast. He just knows everything there is to know about his subject. You go and learn about sensory perception and insects, and Fernando, you're learning from the world's greatest experts on that area. And that's the essence of the university experience, isn't it? Learn from the experts.
It should be, shouldn't it? It should be, and that's what's really exciting about Lincoln. You come across these people in your day-to-day study, and you're actually engaging with them and learning from them. And I think that you're learning from the people making the difference in the world, and it gives you confidence that you can make a difference in the world as well. I mean, can you give us some other examples, Professor Hunter? I know a huge amount goes on here.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get through all of the 399, but I'll do a couple. Okay, here's an entirely different subject area. So Professor Mark Clark, he's a historian. He's interested in the history of the medieval church and scholasticism, which was the way people, the equivalent of universities in the 10th to 12th century. So Mark does a huge amount of work in the archives at Lincoln Cathedral. So we're incredibly fortunate here. One of the best cathedrals in the country, just across from the castle with the Magna Carta, right? So a good place to be.
We've already seen it this morning with Tim out and about at the cathedral, which was built in 1077 as well.
Yeah, there you go. So not just a pretty face inside the cathedral. There's the archives that have been there since 1077. And an astonishing range of very, very rich documents. So we do quite a lot of research in there. So Mark's made some amazing discoveries about the origin of universities and the role of Lincoln and other key cities in the UK. Previous theories where it all came from the continent, primarily from France. And so this is really changing people's views about the way that universities came about in the Western world.
That is amazing, isn't it? And everything links together because visiting Professor Caroline Duffy is engaged in doing a tour of those cathedrals and actually writing poetry about them as well. So you've got the whole remit of subjects looking at this area, which kind of brings it to life in a kind of unified, homogenous way, which is really exciting. And how does this impact on the students, Andrew?
Well, I think to me, it's the reason you go to university. You go to university to learn, but you want to learn from people who are at the cutting edge of their discipline, whatever it is, whether it's robotics, where we've got fabulous people doing new things that have never been done before in robotics, or history, as I've just said, 1,000 years difference, but it's still, new knowledge. You want to learn from people who are the experts in their fields and full of enthusiasm. You ask people, why did you become an academic? Why choose this career? It's because you love learning, and there's nothing quite like sharing your love of your subject with students.
I can see
somewhere you can share people's knowledge.
No, I can see loads of people in the chat are saying, hello, Professor, hello, sir, how are you? And
very well.
Has anyone got any specific questions for Andrew? I mean, the minute Andrew said robots, I wanted to hear about the robots, but if there's a different area of research that you're interested in, then please. I've seen our robots, though, and our robots are amazing. Professor Hunter, can you tell us anything about our robots here at Lincoln?
I can, yes. I can tell you a lot about them. So, so we do actually quite a range of different things in robotics. We, all sorts of things. But the thing we're really known for is agri-robotics.
Yes.
Okay, sort of makes sense, doesn't it? This is Lincolnshire, so we've got a big agricultural area, so we can work with people with that. This amazing field to do robotics in, literally the field, right? So why is it interesting if you're into robots? Well, a farm is not an easy place to move something around in, right? It's quite challenging environments, messy and mucky and all the rest of it. And the things we want to do in agriculture are really challenging jobs for robots. So we do things like picking strawberries and mushrooms and things like that. These are jobs at the minute that, tens of thousands of people do very, very hard labor picking these things by hand because we don't have a way of automating it, and that's because of how challenging it is to imagine kind of picking up a strawberry. Have you ever picked strawberries? I think
They're very squidgy, Andrew.
small, squidgy, and all hidden behind each other. Actually, just working out what's there, getting that robot hand inside, gently grasping the strawberry without bruising it.
That's
putting it out.
impossible.
It's extremely difficult. So we've got some fabulous technology doing that kind of thing, and a range of other tests. But yes, mobile robots working on farms is just a fabulous challenge.
That, and again, it's something that's changing the face of its industry, not just in this country, but all around the world, because this will change how farming is done forever.
Yes, and everywhere, and there are huge challenges, not just in this country, but across the world in terms of labour and the cost and the distance that foods travel. Right? So you think about the climate and the environment, the cost of importing food that maybe could be grown more locally, but then you need to solve the labour problems and the cost problems.
As you can see, I'm very lucky. I spend my days with incredibly intelligent people like Andrew, but also who are funny and brilliant at sharing that knowledge with others, which is really what we want. And we're currently in the Isaac Newton building, which is the hub of our science learning. And one of the things I really love is that outside of this building, we have the Isaac Newton apple tree from Woolsthorpe Manor. And is that something that you're proud of, Andrew?
I am. It's a great moment for me when we went and cut the apples. So Isaac Newton, as you know, was just about 30 miles, 40 miles from here, in Woolsthorpe Manor. Really interesting place to visit, not too far from Lincoln. There's a great story about that if you're a scientist. So if you look at Isaac Newton's work on optics, he did a lot on glasses and telescopes and all that kind of thing, optics. You can read his original notebooks and the dimensions of experiments and work out they're the same size as the bedroom. So we know where he sat when he did those experiments, just overlooking the apple tree. So yes, going there and getting a cutting from the tree and putting it over here is just great fun.
I didn't know that. Do you know, that's the thing. I'm very old, but the opportunity to learn something every day by being in this kind of learning environment is just fabulous. And in terms of students getting involved in, because you at school you're learning knowledge, you're taking in pre-prepared knowledge, which is great. But the great thing, the really exciting thing about university is about the creation of new knowledge. So how do students do that? How do they get to sort of be part of some of this groundbreaking work?
Sure. So we try to do that in all sorts of ways. In the end, the university education is about getting to the point where you can teach yourself, right? Because that's what academics have to do. And the world changes. You leave university, with the best from the world, any degree you do in the modern world, in 40 years' time, things are going to be different. You have to learn new things all of the time. So we're always thinking about how you learn to learn and giving people the skills to do that. But yes, specifically, you'll maybe have some modules where you do some things to support environments and teams, and you work on particular problems. We have student projects. We do try to, get students working on real stuff from our own research. So academics will shape out mini projects that undergraduates can do with them and for them. We have a great scheme for summer projects called Euros, which you'll know about. So that allows people to go spend maybe 4 or 6 weeks working intensively on a research project and working with all the researchers. So loads of opportunities. If you want to do it, there are ways to do it.
Wow, that is amazing. There are great things going on. So I can see some questions coming through. What is Lincoln famous for in terms of its research, Andrew?
Okay. Well, there's a range of things, really. So, as I said, we have around about 400 researchers. So we have people who are, famous for their sub areas in all sorts of spaces. So it's really, really hard to give a short answer to that. We are very, very well known for what we're doing in robotics and agri-robotics and food research. We've got a really, really strong team there. Around about 100 researchers up at Rhizome, dodging robots all over the place. So that's a huge thing. Medieval history, we're really, really well known in that area. In business, we do some great stuff in logistics and supply chain and leadership.
I think we were top 3 in the ref, weren't we, for health and veterinary care for agri and
Agvet and food. we call it,
agvet
yeah.
food, yes. And we were more than 50% of our research was judged to be either internationally excellent or world leading. And that was all down to this amazing man.
Well, I think there's more to do with all those researchers. But yes, so there's a wonderful range of really, really bright people doing all sorts of things in every subject area. There's no school in this university where you won't come across that research.
I'm going to say a huge thank you because I know you need to go and set up for your physical welcome talk, and if you were here you could come and attend it and you could meet this gentleman. So do book and come along on the 8th of May, or come to one of our informal events and come and meet us. But Andrew, I'm so grateful to you for giving up your time today to come and talk to us.
You're very welcome. Can I say one last thing?
Yeah.
If I just say this, I've been here 18 years and I'm often interviewing new members of staff, right? So I see what they do and why they're coming here. And maybe I see them around 6 months, 9 months later, and I say, "You've come here from somewhere else. What's your impression of Lincoln? What do you think of it?" The most common thing they'll say is it's really friendly, very friendly atmosphere.
It is
Enjoy
the
your day.
friendliest place. Andrew, thank you so much. Please do go and set up for your talk, and thank you again for coming.
No problem.
So thank you. In the background, you can probably hear one of our students playing piano. He's one of our performing arts students. He's called Oliver, and he's absolutely amazing and very, very talented. And on YouTube, we have put one of his original songs up. So you can find out more about our students. Please do say hi in the chat. I'm going to say hi to David, to Zach, to Heidi, to Costas, everyone who's saying hi. Just a big hello and thank you so much for sticking with us this morning. Now, our next activity is going to be to go and say hi to our accommodation team and go and have a tour of the student accommodation at the University of Lincoln. So, hello, Vicky. Hello, Vicky. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fabulous, Vicky. It's a fabulous day. I don't know if you can see behind me, there are loads of people here. Lots and lots of people turning up. Some have already headed off to go and meet you, Vicky, to go and see the amazing St. Mark's accommodation. Do you want to show us where you are and tell us a little bit?
Of course, I'll give you a sneak peek of the St. Mark's studio in accommodation. So I'm in one of our 7 residences at St. Mark's. We are really close to campus, just a stone's throw away from the open day and everything else that is happening on campus. We'll take you to the window just so you can see just how close we are. So we're opposite the campus. You can see the medical school. You can't quite see where Ellie is at, but I promise she is just across the way. And opposite as well, we have the Gateway, which is another one of our student accommodations. We're really close to Morrison's and everything that students will need during their time with us. So back to the flat I'm currently in. As you can see, it's got a large social space for students to meet one another, socialise, study, whatever you will need. The space in all of our accommodations have it. St. Mark's has some amazing social space. I'd say probably our largest across our accommodations. So whatever you want to do, we have the availability and space for it. And then also we have the most amazing large kitchens in St. Mark's as well. Plenty of communal space. You can all cook together, create your flat meals. Christmas is coming up. You can make a really good Christmas dinner. There's 3 ovens in this flat as it's a 12-bedroom flat. So everything you need, we have here for you during your stay.
And Vicky, tell us, did you do that when you were a student? Because I know you're one of our alumni. So did you ever cook Christmas dinner in your student flat?
Yes, I did. I think we only had 1 oven at the time because I was in a really small flat. But we did make it work, and believe me, you can cook a Christmas dinner, a really good Christmas dinner in student accommodation. So I would recommend giving it a go.
No, that does sound amazing. And of course, the point you're making is really important, that the University of Lincoln is quite unique. It's a campus university. So as Vicky showed you when she looked out the window, we're very, very close to each other. You can walk anywhere in the city or across the campus pretty much within 10 minutes, or if you're going uphill, probably 15 minutes. Would you say that's fair to say, Vicky?
Yeah, definitely. I live at the top of the hill, so even my commute to work is only 20 minutes. So everything is really close. And for students, you don't need to drive. You can get from all the different activities for students to campus within 10 to 15 minutes easily. And most of the accommodation is within a 5-minute walk.
That's true. Sorry, Vicky, I interrupted your flow. You were showing us the absolutely beautiful kitchen. I have to say, I've got kitchen envy at the moment.
I have kitchen envy as well. But yeah, as you can see from the surrounding area, that it's just got a lot of space for everyone to socialise and make food together, study, whatever you need. We've got the space for it in our accommodations.
That does look
And now,
amazing. Where are we going now, Vicky?
so I'm going to show you the bedroom. So this is like a standard bedroom across the majority of our halls of residence. So obviously this is St Mark's, but this room is very similar of Viking House, Signet Wharf, and our other accommodations. So it's got a 3/4 bed, and then above the bed you've got some storage. So as you can see, shelves for all of your items, books, whatever you need, we've got the space for it. There is also some storage under the bed. So for suitcases, whatever you need, it's all there for you. And then you also get quite a large desk. Of course you can.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt, but one of the questions I got asked a lot when I was in town, when the students moved in this year, was from mums and dads saying, where can I get the sheets for a 3/4 bed? I sent everyone to Wilco, but is there anywhere that you would recommend to get 3/4 sheets, etc.?
So for the bottom sheet, a student told me recently, Dunelm Mill do some 3/4 bottom sheets. But I would always recommend the double as the top, so you've got that little bit more room for if it does get a bit cold, it's a bit more cozy.
Good thinking, Vicky.
That's my
Excellent
tip. And then obviously in the desk you get 3 drawers, so for all your books, extra clothes, whatever you need. And then you also get some overhead storage as well. So we provide as much storage as possible for all the items that you need to study and the items that you bring from your home with you. And then you also get, in the majority of our accommodations, an ensuite bathroom, which is very, very similar to the one you are seeing now. So you've got your toilet, your shower, and your sink.
Yeah, it does look amazing. And what's it like, Vicky? It looks really homely, it looks really nice, but obviously for a lot of people it's a bit scary moving away from home. What would your advice be as someone who's been through this?
My recommendation is, obviously everyone is in the same situation. We have the Friends for Life scheme, so when you apply for accommodation or your courses and you get your offers through, would recommend signing up for that, because then you can meet people before you get here and you kind of have an idea of who you'll be living with or meeting on your course when you arrive. I'd recommend maybe like getting some board games and stuff, like starting to do little social ideas in your flat to kind of get to know each other. And then obviously the university has so much support on hand, so come speak to us at accommodation, student support, student wellbeing, whatever you need, go and speak to them and they'll be happy to help with any issues, nerves, anxiety from being away from home for the first time.
I think that's really good. Helen Dickinson has just posted in the chat that our son finished at Lincoln in June and he had an amazing time, which is lovely. It is a very safe environment. We've got more than 200 security cameras across the campus, and that covers the entire campus, all of the student spaces and accommodation. We have 24/7 security, so not much ever happens really on campus, and in terms of issues, because we sort of make sure that presence is there. And my experience, Vicky, of you and the team are that you are just amazing. I mean, my stepson came to study at Lincoln and he stayed in the accommodation. You guys couldn't have been better.
We do try, and obviously there's things that we have limits and we can't always do straight away, but we always try our best. Like, we've got first aids on site, so if anything does happen, we can help, and all of the things we're training our team to be as helpful and resourceful as we possibly can to give students the best experience they can whilst they're in our accommodation.
And they're just a lovely group. You know, I know when he'd ring up because his light bulb had gone or something, someone would be up sort of 10 minutes later sorting it out, but with a smile and a few nice words, which I think is really important. And I think it's probably helpful that so many of you are alumni of the university.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, we know exactly what it's like to be a student and the student in our own accommodation. So we're constantly trying to improve and make things better and more welcoming for all of our students.
And we've got a question from Liz Berman. Oh, no, it's a comment. Liz is a mature student studying creative writing. She's loving it. She's studying at Lincoln. She's absolutely loving it. She's been made to feel so welcome by tutors and fellow students. Liz, that is fabulous, and thank you so much for sharing that. I have to admit, I absolutely love Lincoln, and I think it's a fantastic place to be. You'll meet some of our students in around about 3 minutes, hopefully. Some of the Skateboard Society are going to come and say hi. But before we go, Vicky, are there any top tips or anything you'd like to share with anyone who's watching today to help sort of parents or potential students with getting ready for joining us?
So I say the applications are open. So if you're a returning student, you can apply now. If you're a new student looking for coming in September, just wait till you get your course offer and then you can apply. Feel free to get in contact with us. Feel free to join the Friends for Life scheme once you've got your offer and your accommodation. And the university is really friendly and helpful. So if you've got anything, any questions, anything you need at all, worries, doubts, anything, we'd be happy to help to assist in any way that we can. And any tips, I just recommend bringing really comfy bedding and trinkets from home, which make it much more enjoyable as a student.
That is really, really good advice. The only thing I would add to that is do try and come and visit us for yourself. It's really important to get a sense of where you're going to spend the next 3 or 4 years of your life, where you'll be living, how you feel about it. Lincoln's a really great city. It's got a population of around about 97,000, and 1 in 5 of the people who live in Lincoln is a student. So it's a really student orientated city. And as such, there is lots and lots for students to do, whether it's out walking, seeing the wonderful otters in the Brayford Pool that Tim might show us later, getting on the train to the coast, 40 minutes to Skegness and go and have a swim, or go on the fun fairs or whatever. And Vicky, before I ramble on too much, what is your favourite thing? And also as a student, what was your favourite thing to do in Lincoln?
So I think one of my favourite things was, so everything's so close. So like you can get to London quite quickly, you can get to Sheffield, Meadowhall, one of my personal favourites as a student when I wanted to do like big shopping. Everything is just, there's so many student things in Lincoln, like escape rooms. So it's quite nice to go, it's like with my flat, to go and just do new things together, bowling. Lincoln has enough everything that a student needs to like enjoy its time. So on campus and in the city itself. So I just think it's an amazing city, a historical city that is amazing for students.
Yeah, I was talking to some students the other day, and they were telling me that Lincoln's got a brew dog. I don't quite know what that means, and I hope it's okay to say it, but you might know, Vicky, because you're young.
I believe Brewdog is a brand of alcohol, but I'm not much sure on the actual other thing, if it's other than alcohol, but I do know it might be to do with a new bar, maybe. I've not heard of it. So
maybe you could, if anyone's watching, please post your top tips about Lincoln, things that you would recommend that people do, and or go and visit, and tell us a little bit about what you like about Lincoln. That'd be really nice. Vicky, it's probably time for me to let you go because it's 10 o'clock and it's time for you to open the doors and welcome in the 4,000 visitors that we've got who are all eager to see this for themselves.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Have a lovely day. It's always lovely to see Vicky, and there's always so much going on. Again, please do say hi in the chat. Tell us where you are, what you're planning on studying at university. And if you've got any questions for any of our guests and any of the people who we're talking to today, that would be super. Now, as I've said, the University of Lincoln is a campus university. So we're a small space we're a large space, to be fair, where all the buildings are close together, but we're right in the heart of the city. It's only about 10 minutes walk to the train station. So just to give you a sense of what that means, we're going to go to our roving reporter, Tim, who I believe is waiting for me up by the cathedral. Tim, are you there? Hello, Tim.
21st century cliche. I was on mute. Hey, Ellie, how's it going? All right?
I'm fine. That looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to Professor Hunter describe it as one of the best cathedrals in the country. I describe it as one of the best, as probably the best cathedral in the world, and certainly one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. It's stunning. It never fails to amaze.
And you know what I'm going to say, because for a long time it was one of the tallest buildings in the world, even taller than the Great Pyramid of Giza, because it had two wooden towers that were attached on top of those towers that you can see behind him, and they were the same height. So pilgrims from literally far and wide, as they came into Lincoln, and the cathedral is on the top of a hill that Tim will be showing you shortly, could see this site from literally everywhere. And then in 1548 there was a lightning strike, the towers collapsed, they were never rebuilt. And oh my goodness, I have to say hello to Nikki Marie. Congratulations, Nikki Marie got engaged at Lincoln Cathedral yesterday.
Congratulations, Nikki.
Tim, can you think of a more romantic place to get engaged?
No, actually, I got engaged at home over a cup of tea, so I didn't do it very well. So yeah, that whoever asked Nikki to marry her, you did very well. Yeah, that will be something to remember.
I have to admit, I got engaged in Bruges over the Lake of Everlasting Love, which was
wow.
Really, I know. We never got married, but we're still engaged. So anyway, Tim, we've gone off the point. We've gone on to true love, and we're wishing Nikki Marie joy and love for the rest of her life. And Nikki, well done you. So Tim, take us on a tour of uphill Lincoln. Show us what we're missing.
Yeah, shall do. So where I am at the moment is Minster Yard, so it's where the cathedral is. It's a beautiful place. It's actually very, very windy here. Legend has it, is it the Lincoln Imp comes out to play or something like that. But if you go to the cathedral, which is again there behind me, you can get a tour and they can talk you through all the myths and legends. Lincoln's an amazing place for history and heritage.
And there are lots of ghosts as well. I believe there's the ghost of a headless horseman who goes through that tunnel that you just came through, Tim.
Yeah. There's I always, especially now because it's coming up to Christmas. It's often probably used a bit too much. It's this magical place, and if you embrace it, it really sometimes it's like being in a Dickens novel. Especially now with the Christmas trees and everything going up, it's like being in Christmas Carol. The happy bit at the end, but it's magnificent.
No,
you might see behind me some of the Christmas decorations going in.
If Darren was here, he'd be saying it's like Harry Potter. And
Harry Potter, yeah.
I say it's like Middle Earth. It's like being in Rivendell. So if you're of a literary bent, you will find something here, won't you, Tim?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what we always say is it's kind of whatever you want in Lincoln, you can find it. And I'll show you the cathedral behind me here. It's not just a beautiful building in terms of history and heritage and where you graduate. It's also a massive arts venue. There's shows, there's exhibitions, and everything that goes off there. So it's all kind of multi-use. There's something for everybody. Sorry, Alice.
Talking of shows in the cathedral, Tim, we are actually speaking at this very moment to the star of the University of Lincoln, Tim, who's starring in The Hunchback of Notre Dame at the cathedral, which I think is a 12-night run.
13 nights. The great thing about that is that it's massively university led or involved in terms of the choreographer is Kirsty Russell, who's a senior lecturer at the university. Loads of students are in the show. It's a cast of over 150. There's a 28-piece orchestra, 3 choirs. And it's a massive opportunity for students to come and get into, and not just actors and singers and dancers. It's tech people and this is kind of all year round as well. So heads of programs and senior lecturers are all involved, and it's actually part of master's programs and PhDs and part of their. I know that dance. Forgive me if I've got this wrong, but is it student satisfaction? We're certainly in the top 3, aren't we? So it would, in terms of dance at the university, and we've got some dancers as part of their course who are in the show as well. And it's great. It's a really great example of how the university is so embedded in the community, and it's lovely. It's really, really brilliant to be a part of.
It is, Tim. And talking of that, we've mentioned the cathedral and things going on there. We should mention the Christmas market, the first weekend in September, when around about 270,000 people descend on Lincoln, and they get to enjoy the Christmas market, which is all around uphill Lincoln. But the best bit for me is in the Bishop's Palace, and it's the medieval market. And Tim, you've got a different market behind you at the moment.
Yeah, so I'm very lucky. I live uphill Lincoln, and we have a different market every Saturday. So this is the Makers Market, where loads of local artists who do whether it be drawing or do pottery, etc., come and sell all their stuff. It's a lovely place to be, and there's food and drinks stands and everything. And there's the Christmas market that has it as well, but the roasted chestnuts come out quite early. We celebrate Christmas for about 5 months of the year in uphill Lincoln, and it's jolly good fun. Yeah.
We haven't mentioned a couple of key historic facts. The castle and the cathedral both date back to 11th century, so they're actually Norman in origin. And the Magna Carta, there's a pub there, but possibly more importantly, the castle has got a copy of the Magna Carta, one of the 4 remaining copies in England, in its vault, and that sits alongside uniquely the Charter of the Forest. So whether your love is history or medieval history, there is so much to see here.
Yeah, it's again. I'm gonna put myself just outside the Magna Carta pub. So there we go, the world famous Magna Carta pub. And then actually, I'm gonna just show you. There we go. I'm going to take you down Steep Hill in a moment, the world famous Steep Hill. But yeah, as Ellie was saying, it's surrounded by by very, very important history, Lincoln, and it has everything for everybody. It's a magical place.
And if this feels a little bit like the Ghost of Christmas Future from A Christmas Carol, that's because this is where you could be next year. You can see those beautiful Christmas trees. And as Tim says, Christmas is a really important time here in Lincoln. It's a really magical time. But Tim, take us down the hill and tell us what we're seeing.
Well, I love this. My favourite part of the city, together with the university, is that you come down Steep Hill and you have these little independent restaurants and shops and bars, etc. So you have from Rolly's Fudge Pantry to the world famous Brown's Pie Shop, and it's there's pubs and everything that are here. And one of the great.
I would love a pie, Tim. If you can bring
I'll bring one back for you, Ellie. One of the great things.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to interrupt Tim.
Okay.
Swanee, say hi. We've got the mascot here.
Oh, hello, Swanee.
The mascot has come to join us. Swanee, how are you today? It's really great to see you. Are you having a good opening day? Swanee is the best mascot in the world. Go, Swanee. This is why we win all of our varsity matches. Bye-bye, Swanee. Sorry, really important moment there. Tim.
No, it's a very important moment. No problems at all. No, we just sorry, mate. I'm live on the internet. He'll say hello. Steep Hill. We were a big advertisement for Steep Hill wines. There we go. One of the great things that people
Tim,
talk about.
That man was waving at you. I think it's a good example to prove exactly how friendly Lincoln
it's amazing. Yeah, one of the, as I say, the people come to Lincoln, they have the graduation, and when parents, and I'm sure there's probably parents watching this today, they come and they wander around and they come and get their, tea and coffee from the imperial teas over there, from the amazing chocolatiers, and these just absolutely. I do wander around it for hours upon end, and do my Christmas shopping, and probably spend far too much money on little things that I can't afford. But forgive me, I'm just going to make sure I don't get run over. And I'm just going to go on the road.
That would not be a good tour. I think that would not go well. And this is such a beautiful city, isn't it, Tim? It's whenever you go there.
It is.
And it's
it
very
is, and what I say to people, it is very small. And I'm about to give you a couple of views in a bit. I'm just coming down Steep Hill as we speak now, and it is. I always say to people, Lincoln's almost in a straight line, isn't it? You start off at the university at the bottom of the hill and just walk up in a straight line to this, the magical uphill stuff in the Bailgate area of Steep Hill. You can't get lost. it's such a, and I've tried
It
to on
is
many
true.
occasions. Yeah,
It is so. I mean, that's the thing. You don't need buses. You don't need a bicycle. You don't need taxis late at night. And to be honest, if you do get lost, every single person will help you. I remember the man coming out of the bank when I'd first moved to Lincoln, and I couldn't find the post office, and he actually came out of the bank and walked me to the post office, which was so kind. Ah,
yeah,
you're at
it is.
Nottingham.
I am. Yeah. So you see behind me, Ellie calls it her Narnia lamppost. Yeah, you can. If you just above the top of my head, you could probably just about maybe make out the university, and I'll be there probably in about 10 minutes, a 10-minute walk. But this is like the resting place. I'm kind of halfway down Steep Hill, and it's called Steep Hill for a reason. And you basically need a little rest as you get halfway up here. And I'm about to go down and make sure that my knees are okay as I stroll down Steep Hill. But it's all the same thing. I mean, they survive on this, independent of retailers and tradespeople and whatnot. But there's
And
these
there are
beautiful
lots of
restaurants.
things, aren't there, Tim? There's gift shops, there's coffee
Yeah,
shops, there's lots of lovely little places to stop and get a Victoria sponge and some chintz sort of tea. And it's
yeah.
just a really relaxing day out. So, mums and dads, if you're watching, it's a great place to come and visit and know that you can have a really fantastic day as well.
Yeah.
And this part of the journey is again, really lovely. There's all sorts of things to stop and look at, and it's a good point to sort of think about the history of Lincoln post Norman, because the Romans were a key part of Lincoln. It was a Roman retirement village for a while, and all around the city you will find Roman ruins, and there is a little antique shop just behind Tim where you can buy lots of Roman coins or Roman artifacts. And Tim, you found the best restaurant in the city.
Yeah, there's Jew's Court behind me, which is my favourite restaurant in the city. Not there's loads of them, but it's not just like restaurants. There's little quirky places as well. There's is it the Panda Cafe? That's the gaming cafe around here as well. That if you're into that, there's that to do. I'm just walking up to my favourite new cafe, by the way, which is Coffee Cats, which is the cat cafe.
Now this is unique, and you need to explain that that's not just a name, Tim.
No, it's not. So basically, you book a slot and you go in. You've got an hour, and it's a fantastic study spot. You take your laptop in. You're surrounded by the most amazing cats, all rescue cats. And if you're a bit of a cat maniac like I am, I could probably spend all day in there. And I love it to bits. Yeah. So it's not just these. These other independent and again, like getting sort of Christmas presents elsewhere from shops like this. These
Hang on,
quirky little
Tim.
cafes as well.
I saw something I wanted there. I'm going to have to look up after this.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll get you a Christmas present. Don't worry.
Well, it's only 42 sleeps until Christmas.
I know. Well, the thing is, I'm reminded of it, but I'm coming down to the straight now. So basically, where I am now is at the bottom of Steep Hill. It's called the Straight, and this is where there's loads of again amazing cafe. This is an amazing ice cream cafe, by the way. I'm sure you're into that. So I'm getting sidetracked as well, but the best sweet shop in the world.
This is the best sweet shop, and yes, you soon get to know everyone who runs all of the shops. Oh, the Straight and Narrow, that's very popular with students.
Yeah, so again, we're getting down now to just right at the bottom of Steep Hill. So the Straight and Narrow is absolutely brilliant, brilliant bar and pub for everybody. Actually, not just available. The bars are available. I'm coming up to the Curiosity Shop now, which is a cocktail bar, a gin palace. If that's the right terminology, but I'm going to call it a gin palace. I've been in there a few times. It's very nice. And actually,
and you can just get a coffee if you don't want to.
If you don't, you can get a coffee if you want. Yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah, you don't have to drink to enjoy the gin palace, because there are some very interesting bars. There's one that's got the fascia of a old TV repair shop, and when you go in, it's an underground club, sort of from the time of Prohibition, So there are some really exciting things that you can find to do. Tim,
Yeah.
what a fabulous view. What are you showing us now?
Well, this is the Cardinal's Hat. So this is another pub at the top. Well, to say about halfway down the hill,
You may
which
be
is I think
showing us too many pubs, Tim.
I
at
am
this
showing too many pubs. I'm sorry, but I'm showing it. The reason it's not because it's a pub; it's because it's one of the old. You see it just a bit. It's one of the oldest buildings in Lincoln, and it's just absolutely stunning. You're surrounded by it wherever you come from. And I'll walk down the hill and show you some more. But where I am at the moment is
You did
brilliant
miss
shopping area.
Patisserie Valerie, which does really good chocolate cakes
Yes,
as
it
well.
does. It does, and yes, thankfully it survived. You get these amazing. The coffee shops here are really quite something because they really do put the effort into.
And
Yeah,
I hope people can see behind him as well as he's going down. There's some really good clothes shopping shops here. So what's amazing is there's lots of independent retailers amongst the brands. So you really can find quite unique pieces. If shopping is your thing, you can find some really amazing things around here. It's a fantastic place to do a touch of retail therapy.
yeah, and there's everything as well. So where I am now, you do get as Ellie was saying, these independent retailers. And I'm coming down pretty much close to the city centre where you would get what you would imagine the big shops like H&M and Primark, etc., and all of that malarkey.
I mean,
I'm just going.
yeah, it's lots of students come to us from London and the southeast, and I think although we're a lot smaller than other cities, there's just so much going on, and it's so easy to get to. Everything is literally on your doorstep. Everything that Tim has shown you is around 10 to 15 minutes walk maximum from wherever you will be living in the city, so or on campus. So it's a really great environment for a safe environment, which was one of the reasons why I was really glad that my stepson chose it, because I knew he'd be safe. But also there's so much choice, and literally if you jump on a bicycle and there's hire bikes on campus, you can cycle for not very far at all, and you can find yourself in the middle of some of the loveliest countryside in the world. Sorry, Tim, back to you and your amazing
No,
report.
I'd echo that. Yeah, you're dead right. Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes on a bike, and you're in beautiful countryside in Lincoln. You don't feel claustrophobic in any way. So no, and I'm just walking. As I said before, just down in a straight line. I'm going to walk across the road and show you the stone boat as well, which is an extremely important historic building in Lincoln. It's just behind me. I'm going to do another twizzle just to make sure
It is,
that I don't fall over.
and it's fabulous because Henry VIII actually passed through the stone bow, and it's one of the places where it's known that he came. I believe he came with his queen at the time, Anne Boleyn, when they actually came to the cathedral. So it's and also on Tuesdays and Saturdays you can do a tour of the stone bow, and there's a little queue of people behind him waiting to go in. And what's amazing in the stone bow is you can see all of the most beautiful artifacts in Lincoln that range from Roman, there's medieval, there's the Charles the First sword, which is made of solid silver and absolutely beautiful.
Also, with that, Ellie, it's not again. It's an arts venue as well. I've seen an opera in there. I've
Yes.
seen other things go on. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing place. Do come, as I said, come and see Lincoln. Come and see it for yourself. But go in and visit it. It's an incredible place. Right, where I am now is kind of right in the very heart of the shopping area. So I've got the big waterside shopping centre, which has Topshop, H&M, Next, and obviously the obligatory Primark behind me.
Yes,
So yeah,
Primark.
absolutely. So you needn't spend millions on your clothes. But there's loads of.
Yeah, and it is a big Primark. Just gonna before Tim shows us any more places to eat. Primark is well worth a visit. You will find lots of fabulous things there. And can I just say hi to Nike Sopine? Nike's joined us today. Hello, Nike. Thanks for coming. Really nice to meet you. And if you've got any questions for our roving reporter, Tim, please do just post them in the chat, either on Facebook or on YouTube, and we'd be delighted to answer them. Tim, you're nearly at the uni. Oh my goodness, you're at my favourite place. You are at the best place to get coffee in the whole world, Stokes Coffee. It's been there making amazing coffee for 120 years, and you're at the bottom of the high street. And from here, I'm hoping Tim is going to cut through the glory hole and come straight to the uni. Anything you want to say, Tim, before you join us?
Yeah, I've nipped through. I've got running down through this beautiful passageway, and I think is it Darren gave me that fan. Is that the oldest? Is the Stokes Coffee Shop the oldest building on as a bridge in the world, or something like that?
That's right. Yeah.
I learn something every day. But here I am, walking to the uni, just a little nip through, and I'm now next to the river. And within about 30 seconds, you get to see the beautiful Brayford Pool, where our university is based.
And Brayford Pool was really important again back in medieval periods, because Brayford Pool was a key port for England, and lots of trade came through here. And Lincoln was incredibly important as a city at that time, and you can literally travel anywhere in the country from Lincoln through its river system. And there are boat trips, and normally at an open day in the summer we'll put on a boat trip using the amazing Brayford Bell, and you can travel up and down and have a look at the accommodation and the university from the river, because it's a fabulous thing to do. And in a minute, Tim will take us under the bridge that will lead us to one of the most impressive views of the university that you can have, and you really get a sense. And the only thing we didn't say is when Tim came down through the glory hole, is if you'd have looked left at that point, you're literally 5 minutes from the train station. So wherever you need to get in the country, 5-minute walk. Tim, what a view. Tell us what you're looking at.
What I'm looking at actually is a couple of members from the University Canoeing Society and Kayaking Society out on the water. But this is my view. This is my walk to work every single day, and I love it so much. It's the beautiful campus. I mean, the Brayford Bell behind me that you can go and take tours from down the Brayford. You can see there the Minerva Building, the Arts Building, and just behind those trees is where Ellie is sitting right now. It really is quite a unique campus, really, in terms of the city. This is where you're at the university now, and 10 minutes ago I was at the world famous Lincoln Cathedral. So,
and on the other side, you've got some amazing places to eat and drink. There's the Odeon Cinema. There's Wagamama's. There's lots of restaurants and bars down there. There's a lovely, you can't see it, but right behind Tim is my favourite, because they do really good gluten-free, and it's the King William, where you can go get a lovely gluten-free sandwich, and you can take your dog in there. We get lots of questions about where you can take dogs if you're visiting, and that's a great place to go for a dog-friendly lunch or dinner. Also, otters are really important to our students. There's a family of otters who live in the river here, and swans are incredibly important. You will have seen swans on our logo. You will have seen Swanee, the mascot, who came up behind me earlier. You will have seen swans on the Students' Union logo. Swans live here. You will see lots of swans. Every year we have hundreds of cygnets, and it's beautiful. We have Muscovy ducks, we have geese. If wildlife is your thing, you will love this campus. Is that fair to say, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the other day I was walking to the Minerva Building, which we'll go into in a minute, and I saw the family of otters. It doesn't have to you. Yeah, we have one guy who feeds the geese as well every morning, and they're very friendly. The wildlife. It's got everything, hasn't it? It's beautiful.
It is. I was a bit nervous at first when I came here, because geese and swans are traditionally, I've always thought they were a little bit chasey, but they're not. They're ever so friendly, and they are fabulous. Now, Tim, over to you.
That's everybody's friendly in Lincoln, even the swans, Ellie. I'm just coming over the University Bridge, the railway bridge, and because there's a train that's coming past. So I'll be able to show you very, very shortly the Students' Union. It's actually fantastic to see so many people on campus today.
And I might stop you there, Tim, because there's a beautiful view behind you of the castle. So you really get a sense, and cathedral, of where Tim's walked. And Tim's gone quite slow, so you'll get a sense that in just 10 minutes you can be in the heart of medieval Lincoln, come down the high street and be at the university. And there you can see the train tracks. So you can see how very close we are to the train station, and that's really important in being able to get home. Tim, two fabulously important buildings there. I'll hand over to you to explain what they are.
Yeah, what you see behind me is the engine sheds. That's the Students' Union, the library as well. I'm in the library over there. An amazing building, a repurposed. I forget, was it an exchange or it's a very old building? It's now been.
Yeah, it was a wharf. It was.
That was it.
Yeah. It was one of the train loading stations, and we can also hear the seagulls around him.
Yeah, that was it's about to come past.
We've just muted him for a second because the wind is blowing quite strong. So once we get him off the bridge, that will be a bit safer. But the Students' Union venue holds 3,000 people. It's called the Engine Shed. It was an engine shed. It's where all the trains were stored. Now it's the venue for amazing bands that I've never heard of. McFly did some DJing, and there's some amazing people that I like, but no one else will have heard of. So, Tim, who else has been in the Engine Shed?
Well, I think just this week, actually, the Engine Shed, or Lincoln generally, was named in the top 10 best comedy cities in the UK. So it's not just bands. Like Kasabian are playing there. There's loads. Paul Weller was playing the other day as well. And DC Fontaines as well. One of my favourite bands at the moment.
We'll ask Amina when she comes. When Amina joins. It's a brilliant, absolutely brilliant venue. And again, it's right in the heart of campus, isn't it? It's right on the student's doorstep. Just behind me as well, the David Chillick building. If you were to do business, by the way, that's where you would be. Which is really useful. So if you do business in there, but the other thing about the Engine Shed is every Wednesday night they run Quack Night, which is the best night of the week to go out. Apparently, you can get a rubber duck.
Yeah, it's an incredible place, and they have these beautiful lights, and I wish my Students' Union was like that when I was at university. I always say that to you. Very, very lucky. But it's a great view here because behind me you can probably just about now make out the LPAC Lincoln Performing Arts Centre as well. Everything is right next to each other, and it's just a little walk to and from places. And I'm coming up now to see a couple of the skateboarders as well, the Skate Society, who I believe you're talking to at some point, Ellie.
Yeah. To be honest, they're 30 minutes late, but I'm hoping they might find me at some point. You might find them over there, actually. It's Joe and Themis. But they've been over here all day welcoming our guests and telling them a little bit about what it's like to be a student and what it's like to be a skateboarder here, which is fabulous. Tim, it's probably time for me. Oh, I'll let you show one last. Oh, yeah, we have got the skateboarders out. And doing a fabulous job there.
Here he comes. Give him a wave, mate. There. That's it. Marvellous.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well done.
Tim,
the teepees.
To the teepees. Shall I run into the teepees? I'm going to set a pace.
We put the teepees on campus last year at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, when we wanted to use our amazing campus, which is about 2 miles in diameter probably, to create some more outdoor spaces where students could meet and study. And so we put up 2 teepees, and they're really beautiful. I don't know if the lights are on today, Tim. If they are, it is a stunning venue. Yeah, it is lovely.
What's best about it is like you're properly indoors. It's so warm and cozy in here. Yeah, Christmas is going to be amazing in this place. Yeah. Do you want
We had
anything, Ellie? Do you
Diwali.
want me to get you?
That would be nice, a hot chocolate. But we had Diwali in there. Was that this week? It must be last week, the 4th
Yeah.
of November, wasn't it? But that was a fantastic event where staff and students got together and celebrated Diwali. So it's time to say thank you and goodbye to Tim. Tim, you've been amazing. Give us a last wave. We're starting to lose your sound.
Yeah, no problems at all. I'll say goodbye because I can see loads of campus tours happening behind me. They're about to come and run me over. So it's fantastic to see everybody on campus today. Yeah, what a brilliant place to be. Have a lovely day. I might see you in a little bit.
I'll see you in a bit, Tim. Try and find a coffee. I'm desperate for a cappuccino if you can find one. Thank you very much, Tim. Lovely to see you.
Will do.
And it's time to say goodbye, Tim, and hello to Amina in the Students' Union. And Amina is in the building that Tim just walked by. Amina, hi, how are you?
Hi, Ellie. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm really good. Like Tim, I'm really excited. There's so many people on campus. If I keep looking over here, I'm really sorry. It's because people keep walking past the window and waving. And Nike says, thank you, Tim. That was brilliant, wasn't it, Nike? That was really nice. Amina, tell us, who are you and what do you do?
I am Amina, as Ellie mentioned, and I am the Vice President International here at Lincoln Students Union. I'm one of the 5 student leaders that we have. So we have Vice President Education, Vice President Activities, Vice President Wellbeing and Community, and Vice President Campaigns and Environment. And we have been elected by all of our students to ensure that we are able to represent them and enhance their academic experience by working with the university during their time of study here.
Oh, that is brilliant, Amina. That is brilliant. And really, you're all there for the good of the students. You're like the Avengers, but for students. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I guess so, because obviously Avengers are like superheroes or something. So we are more like superheroes, but in person superheroes, trying to make sure that we just have you we support and represent you to have a really good time. So I always like to use the phrase, when you think about the university, you think about the university as the assignment academic bit, and you think about the students union as the extracurricular things you can do during your time of study here.
That's really good because you're a separate organisation, but we work really closely. So Amina and I work quite closely, quite regularly, and we've all got the students at the heart of everything that we do. And students really are the most important people here at the university. And what made you want to be a superhero, Amina?
Just before I say that, I just want to say I appreciate that today you are wearing red and supporting us, because at the Students' Union, we are easily noted by our red colors. And what made me want to be a superhero or take up this role? So first of all, I am an international student. I came to the UK as an international student. Obviously, different experience, different cultural environment, but really, really loved Lincoln for the type of city it was and the university. And student leadership roles are positions that are available to every student, really. So I saw an opportunity and I felt, oh, I would love to stay back in Lincoln. I would love to work for the Students' Union. I would love to engage with the university as well, so as to support other incoming international students and all of our students. And also the experience that I could get from this role was quite important as well. So I just decided to go for it. You run in elections, you get so much experience talking to people, communication, leadership, and of course, key thing that you would be doing mostly is representation and solving problems. So I felt it's something that I'd love to do, and I've definitely enjoyed doing it.
You've made such a difference, Amina. I mean, you guys are amazing, and I love working with you because there's the social side, which we'll talk about, which is really good, but then there's the campaigning side and all the amazing work you do on safety, on diversity, on inclusivity. Did you
Yes.
want to say a few words about that before we move on to the more sort of fun side?
So I think when it comes to safety, it's very important for us to ensure the safety of our students is really looked into. Recently, one of our vice presidents has acquired quite a number of safety alarms, which we've been giving out to students. All you have to do is come through to us or drop us a message if you're interested in one. And when it comes to diversity, we do have a range of diverse students at Lincoln, and we take pride in celebrating cultural events. Basically, we have different societies. If you probably aren't in a society that has the type of cultural celebrations that you do, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is come to us and tell us what you want to do, and we would absolutely support you. Last week, I guess we all came together to celebrate Diwali. We did have over 500 students in attendance, lots of performances, dance, music, drumming. So it is important. It's the thing that the Students' Union ensures that is enhancing your experience from safety, representation, campaigning, and also diversity and inclusion. I guess one of the things we really looking at this year is to ensure that everyone feels inclusive in everything that we do.
That's really good, Amina. And I know we've talked before, and you said that it's really important when students join to sort of join those clubs and societies. And I mean, there's the obvious ones like football and rugby. Then
Yeah.
there's Harry Potter, there's Quidditch, there's toboggan, there's wrestling, there's skateboarding, who Tim just showed us. There's dance. I mean, I can't remember. I know you joined a couple, Amina, when you were a new student. Which were they again?
To be very honest, the one thing I didn't do as a student, which was bad, was that I didn't join a sport or society.
I
But
thought you did.
did not, and I regret it every single day, which is now I've taken advantage of social sports because it's also a good way to engage and interact with students. So I always tell every student during a live talk or in-person talk that don't be like Amina by not joining a sport or society. Please join sports and societies. And I think it's one of the reasons why during Freshers Week, we have sports fairs, we have societies fairs, which is a great way to showcase all of the sports and societies that we have. And we do this on different days so the students have enough time to be able to visit the different sports and societies, engage with them, interact with them. And this year we did get loads of students signing up for sports and societies. So I didn't join one. Obviously, if I would have, it would have been volleyball because I love volleyball, and maybe cycling. But it's a great thing to do. If you think it's not going to be easy for you to meet new people, then the first thing you want to do when you come to Lincoln is attend all the Freshers Fair events. We even have Enviro Fair, which we also did, I think, last week during COP26. Went down really well. So there's always something that you can get involved in. You can meet students who have similar interests as you are. So you definitely find your own people, your own community, and yeah.
No, that's really good. I mean, really good advice. I think, yeah, Freshers Fair this year, the number of people there was amazing, and definitely a really good way to make friends and get to know people, and also
Yeah.
friends for life. So do that before you come.
Mhm.
And a
Not
little bit.
forgetting, not forgetting
So
the freebies, not forgetting the freebies that students get when they attend Freshers Fair events. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that.
that is very true, Amina. And what were the kind of social events that were going on during Freshers this year, Amina?
So we did have live performances from artists, from DJs, live music. We had roller disco as well, which was very good. um, we had bongos, bingos. We had so many things happening. It was either during the day or in the evening, so depending on what time was suitable for you, there was always something that you can get involved in. Of course, we had walking tours, which is a great way to discover certain buildings within the university and also in the city center. and cycling tours as well. Basically, you could just walk into the cycle hire, grab a bike, and go on a bike tour to discover hidden places or hidden gems, I would like to call, in Lincoln. So literally, there was something happening depending on your interest. And we also did something called the Chill Out Hub. So basically, if you don't want to do like a social night out and you just want to be in a chilled environment, play board games, charades. I mean, we have probably over 30 types of board games. We did that as well during Freshers Week. So lots of exciting things that you can be involved in.
I know you guys are amazing at making people feel included, which is really good. I think you're going to do a bit of a tour for us, Amina, picking up where Tim left off. So I'm going to hand over to you and let you show us around, because you're in the engine shed at the moment, but you're in Towers, aren't you?
Yes, I am in Towers. As you can see, very lovely building, serene environment. This is our sports bar. So if you're a student during the day, in between lectures and breaks, you can definitely walk into Towers and grab a drink, grab a meal, meet new people, and we also host quizzes in Towers during the week. Um, you'd find out that during Freshers Week, we have something called the Big Quiz. You don't want to miss out on that. Lots of prizes to be won by your team. And of course, Towers is one of your student union venues. If you eat or drink or spend in Towers, you get 10% discount off your meals.
And they
And
are
this,
really tasty meals. I'm going to
they
say
are.
it's a real treat to go and have something to eat, and really good value, Amina.
Absolutely. And this is just the reception of Towers when you're walking in. Um, we looks like we may get the opportunity to see what the engine shed looks like. I know you did mention the engine shed earlier, Ellie,
Oh, I
about
love the engine shed. I
how
mean,
big it is.
it's
So as you can see,
huge, and it's amazing. I mean, for the mums and dads, I've seen the Damned, Big Country. In smaller venues here on campus, I've seen Stuart Lee, Julian Clary, but that is really for the mums and dads, not for the younger folks. So, Amina, what's this set up for? What is that? What's going on tonight?
I might have to check because sometimes there are so many events happening that you can't keep track of. I absolutely would love to say that. It looks like a seating event. So it just
Yeah, it
tells
looks
you,
like comedy, doesn't it? I wonder
yeah,
who's
it's
on now.
same. Basically, this is one of the biggest, this, in fact, the biggest venue that you can think of in Lincoln. And it can be used for so many things. 1 minute we are using it for Freshers Fair, the next minute we are using it for roller disco. So it's an
And Chase and Status and Wham Night.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel I should mention. And I'm going to ask our producer Olivia. Olivia, if you can hear me, can you try and see what's on at the engine shed tonight? Because it looks like it's set up for something quite exciting.
I
Amina,
know I know for sure that we also have the platform. Basically, tonight the platform, because there is a special event for to welcome international students. I remember that, but I didn't remember what's on for the engine shed. But
and do most of the international students go along, Amina?
yes, they do. We've sold over 150 tickets and we are still selling. And this event is open for not just international students, but also home students as well, which will be a great way for them to integrate, interact, and get to meet new people. So, this is me outside the Students' Union building. And I'm just going to do a quick 360 of my location. So, behind is the Students' Union building, and you can see the engine shed entrance right at the bottom. Um, Far to the end of the Students' Union, you have our advice center and cycle hire. Basically, we are open to provide students with advice by impartial professional staff. If you are a student and not really sure of where to go to, what to do, just pop by and go speak to someone. And after the advice center, we have our cycle hire, where you can rent a bike and discover Lincoln while you are here. And of course, your student leader team for the year. And you can
The
see Amina hiding
Avengers.
there.
The proper Avengers. And the producers just let me know that it's Chris Ramsey, the comedian, tomorrow night who's on In the Engine Shed. So that sounds like a really good night out as well. So
It does. And behind me now, we have the University Library, which gets open 24/7. So if you're a student and you are here, depending on what time of the day you'd like to study, you can definitely be in the library. And turning around, you can see the David Chiddick building, which is the business Lincoln International Business School. So if you are studying a business program, you would most likely be having all your lectures there. Then of
which is
course,
fabulous because it's right next to the Students' Union, right next to the library. So you couldn't be in a better position, could you? And just down from the
then of
TP.
course we have the TP behind me and the skateboarders. Ellie, do you want to say hi to the skateboarders?
Yeah, see if you can see Joe or Themis. Joe and Themis, they've been over here all morning saying a huge welcome to our guests. They both look incredibly smart. They've got dressed up today, for which I was really grateful. But I can't see. Oh, well done. So we're identifying Joe and Themis.
All right.
Hello. Hi, who are you talking to, Amina?
Okay.
Oh, there's Joe.
That's Joe waving. Joe is giving us a bit of stunt on skateboarding.
Is Joe about to do a demonstration? That's quite brave. I hope he doesn't break
Demo?
anything. Wow. So, Amina, do you want to ask Joe how come he got involved in skateboarding?
Okay, will do.
What a fantastic job. Oh my God. Now, somehow Amina's, there you go. Oh, Amina.
I'm Zoe.
Zoe. All right, I have Zoe with me here. Zoe, do you want to tell us how you got involved in skateboarding?
So basically, like when I was like 12,
Yeah.
I wanted a skateboard really bad. And I
Okay.
didn't get one. And then I came to uni and I was like, you know what? Now's my chance.
Okay.
So I got a skateboard. I didn't know anything. Literally couldn't even ride it. And then I joined the skate society for the student union. And these guys have helped me. And now I can ride it and I can do tricks and stuff.
All right. It seems that it's not too late for me to learn how to skateboard as well. So Ellie, I'll probably be joining one of them soon and
Yeah.
get some lessons. But
Now
thank you
that-
so much, Zoe.
All right.
That is good advice. And Amina, you said your greatest regret was not joining a club or society.
Absolutely. And just look at how fun it is on campus. It just means that if you find a society that you either are interested in or want to know more about how to become a member of the society, this is how beneficial it can be for you. Obviously, Zoe has found new friends in a community that she can relate with and have good time outside of attended lectures or dealing with assignments.
I think that's a really lovely point to end, Amina. I think you're right. That's what the university journey is about. It's about making friends, trying something very, very different, sort of putting yourself out there, learning new skills, developing a real speciality or a specialism in which you become an expert, and developing those critical skills that you need to prepare you to solve problems later in life, and actually to prepare you to go on for a career anywhere in the world. And the great thing about all those students who go along to the international student welcome tonight is that they're all going to make friends. And when I was at university, I made friends with one of my best friends, someone called Gaurav, who lives in India. And I went out and worked with him in India. I went out to his wedding. I've become part of his family, and he's become
Yeah.
part of mine. And the world is a much smaller and much more friendly place because of that friend that I made back then. And
Absolutely
Amina,
agree with you.
I'm sure it's the same for you.
Yeah, it is because being here and attending numerous events has given me the opportunity to meet students from different parts of the world, get to learn about different cultures, which is the same as what you've saying. If I look at the names and students attending the event from tonight, it's just not only international students, it's a mixed range of students, which is good because it's a great way for them to get to know more about international students, get to know more about their culture, and then just share the similarities and differences that we have in one.
Amina, thank you so much. And thank you to our producer, Olivia. This was her first solo production, and I'm so proud of her. She's done an amazing job. Olivia, this has been a fantastic session. Thank you to everyone who stayed with us. Nike, it's been great to meet you. And I look forward to meeting everyone who's watched when you come and visit us on campus and see for yourself what a really amazing university and city Lincoln is. So it's goodbye from me and
Bye.
goodbye from Amina. Thank you very much and goodbye.